Let's go. Who painted the Mona Lisa?
Da Vinci, Leonardo.
How many continents are there on Earth?
7.
What is the fastest land animal?
Cheetah.
Jinx. How many colors are there in the rainbow?
7.
Sorry.
Yes.
Which famous investor wrote the book The Intelligent Investor?
Benjamin
Graham.
Graham.
Jinx.
Okay, cool.
What is the largest denomination of US paper currency ever
$100.
printed? Ever printed?
US.
Yes.
$1,000.
10,000.
No. $100,000.
US.
Dollar.
Yes. Who is the chair of the Federal Reserve?
Fine.
Okay. What is the smallest country in the world by land area?
Peru.
Seychelles.
Madagascar.
Vatican City. Who was the first person to set foot on the moon?
Armstrong.
What year did the first manned moon landing take place?
1969. Ujuizo.
Ujamaa amesoma kitabu ya Elon Musk.
One mkono.
Put that hand straight ahead. Who was the first female Chief Justice of Kenya?
Martha Koome. Chukua kitabu.
You're not saying it. Who was the first Kenyan president?
Jomo Kenyatta.
Who was the first Prime Minister of the United Kingdom during World War II?
Churchill.
Yeah.
Winston. Wow. Tulia hata. Pia mimi najua. Ujamaa anajua.
Continue.
What is the largest desert in the world?
Sahara. Bro, so give up.
What's
I can
going on?
stop straight.
What is the capital city of Japan?
Tokyo. What?
How many chambers does the human heart have?
Human heart. Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Wait, check
Au
out.
vile wanajibana polisi. Kama sasa. Sasa umejibu ana kujisikia.
Nimepata rich.
Unasema hii tena. Haijaisha. Sasa nasikia hii tunangoja kusikia swali. Now we change. If you answer before the question is complete, there's a penalty.
Sawa.
You know the answer. Finish the question.
Which famous ship sank in 1912?
Titanic.
Jinx.
Hizi vitabu ni light.
Wow.
Nataka mkono straight.
Haya.
Hii iwezekani.
Sura, Kenya ameshindwa. Hey, wait for today.
Vitabu ni mingi bala.
Last time Ken won. That's mine.
Hizi vitabu ni bomba.
Anyway, guys, this is our book. Our template for understanding the forex market. Grab your copy.
Hello traders, welcome back to another episode of the Traders Show. So this is a continuation from the previous episodes that we recently started, and today we are going to reflect and talk about the learning experiences that we've had over the last, I think, 8 years. So we've been trading since around 2016, 2017, and we've kept it for a very long time and also a very short time, I think. For around 7 or 8 years, which is not a very long time, but it's also not a very short time. If you do something for 40 years, you look back, 8 years will be a short time. But if you do something for 10 years, you look back, 8 years will be a very, very long time to be doing the same thing. So there's a lot we've gathered from both our trading experiences, our life experiences, and we're going to share with you guys some little nuggets here and there that are going to be helpful for you as you navigate through the different things. For those who are beyond us also, hopefully you'll pick 1 or 2 lessons that can be helpful.
Yeah, so welcome guys, karibuni.
like Ken said, continuing with what we started recently in this new season. So today we'll be talking about life lessons learned in the last 8 years of trading. Give or take, it's been 8 years. We started when we were back in 2016, 17 thereabouts, and now in 2024. So give or take about 8 years. There's a lot we've learned. There's a lot we've seen. There's a lot of experience we've gone through, which we can help you guys with and share with you people. But as a starting point, let's just talk about how it has been for us. Before we talk about you guys, let's talk about how it has been for us, how the journey has been, the ups and downs. And today we'll get real. We'll talk about other stuff maybe you guys haven't heard about. And you guys get to know us better and get to know where we're from, where we are, and where we're going. It's the same thing they say about history or anything in any subject. The only way you can get to know where we're going is by where we are from and where we are. Okay? So, class for another day. Today's about our life lessons. So, you'll start, Ken?
Yeah, so I think when you frame it like that and when you think about the lessons that you've gathered over the last 8 years, it really helps to go back to the initial point when you were starting out, what you had, like you said, you go back to when you were starting out and to try and think about, what idea did you have of what you were coming to do. And for me, when I was coming into trading, I was attracted into it mostly as a function of how much money I could make. And it was purely out of seeing things on social media, going on YouTube. And over time, I think I've realized that appearance is not reality. Whatever you see being depicted about something is not really what you should just take to mean this is the real aspect of this particular thing. Because when I started trading, I thought it's just about, getting 1, 2, 3 things and then you're rich, or 1, 2, 3 things and then you're making money. And I can tell you for free that over the last 8 years, I can say that there's a very big difference between what is portrayed or appears on social media versus what trading is all about. And right now I can speak from a point of confidence because I feel like I really understand what trading is all about. So I think that's the first thing that I'd start with. There are very many things, we often see people, or this guy is like this guy is living like this, or this guy is doing this. And often we just take the appearance of something to mean this is the real thing. You visit someone, let's say they're doing well, and you're like, wow, this guy is doing so well, I want to be like them. Oh well, what if I told you that guy is stealing from people? Would you still be amazed as you are? Will you still probably fall for what this guy is doing? Probably not. Maybe you'd be, okay, I don't want that glory if it comes with that. So the first thing that I'd say is much of what we tend to see and think this is what this is all about is not really what something is all about. Because like for me, when I joined trading, I knew like in 3, 4, 5 years, I'll be rich, super, super rich. So it's 8 years down, I'm not super rich yet. I'm not even close to being super rich. And
Super rich.
yeah, so
What is super rich?
Super rich is financially free for me. And I feel like financially free is when you've gotten to a point where you don't make any decisions in your life thinking about money. Money is not a metric that makes you, move in particular sides. And I think most people are not there, will not get there. It's unfortunate. Most people are not there and will not get there. But there are few people who are not there, will get there, and there are few people who are already there.
Why will the many not get there?
Wow, there are many reasons that I'd say the many won't get there, but I'd say one is I've realized very many people know how to make money but not how to keep it. Like there are many people who know how to do ABCD to make money, but they don't know what to do to keep that money. Okay?
Keep and grow.
And then the second one now is growing. Yeah, so keeping and growing money, I think, is one thing that I've seen people are really struggling with. And it's a function of knowledge, behavior, and luck. Some luck also is helpful. I think also luck needs to be on your side for you to somehow achieve some of these things. So I'd say it's a function of those things, majority of that's my opinion. Majority of people won't get there. It's just off the charts for majority of the people. Yeah, that's my opinion though. Yeah, it's just an opinion. It's not a fact. Yeah.
Here at Financial Hub, we offer the first 2 classes of our masterclass for free. In the first class, Introduction to Trading, you learn the initial overview of the concepts, principles, and practices involved in trading. In the second class, Fundamental Analysis, you learn the underlying factors driving supply and demand in the markets. You can get in touch with us by calling the number below or filling the form in the description box. Or you can visit our offices at Lavington Mall, Chandarana Building, 4th floor, office number 401.
Yeah, for me, I think it's mindset. Many people don't have the right mindset to... It's more or less what you're saying.
Exactly.
But at the same time, the mindset, or they've not learned the mindset of being rich.
Yeah.
Most people are not born rich. If you talk about statistically, most people are born poor.
Yeah.
Poor, middle class, below.
Yeah.
So that mindset, for someone who's poor, to change that mindset to think about abundance of life, of money, of opportunities, that it's really rare, because the mindset you're taught when you're young, unless you are taught a different mindset. But many people don't have it. And that leads me to my point also. As much as Ken has shared about the progress so far, also, if you've heard our podcast before, if you've listened to our stories, you know where we started, okay? We've seen growth. As much as we wanted to be millionaires and billionaires, and we are working towards that, and we've just come to check, it takes time. We're just Googling with Ken right now. The average age of becoming a dollar billionaire is what?
50 years.
50 to 70 years, okay? Below that.
If you do it till you're 50, you're young. You're a young billionaire. That's the depiction. If you do it past 60, you're the average age.
And I'm sure if you look at the statistics of the people who are below 50, not to speak about them badly, but also some of them, it's inheritance.
Yeah.
You find the parent died, a catch inheritance. Like there's a Walton family who's very young. There's a Mars kid who from the family of John Mars and all that, who has billions. But anyway, if you get someone who's worked Kina Zuckerberg, very few. Someone who's below how old is Elon?
51, 52, I think.
He just crossed the threshold of 50.
Yeah.
So also Elon, these are remarkable people, okay? So anyway, as much as we're working towards that, we've known it takes time. And good things in life take time. But before that, it's good also to reminisce kidogo, how far have we come and where we got, like I said earlier on the start of the podcast. So we started in a bed sitter. Back when I used to visit Ken in Kahawa, we used to stay there and talk about the markets. Just a simple bed sitter.
That house had a bed, a desk, a seat, and gas. That's it.
The washroom.
And the washroom.
That gas, everything Ken has talked about is one room. If I get a photo, we can share that photo here and you get to see. There was just a bed, it was what, a 4x5. It was a
4x6.
It was a small bed.
Yeah.
On the corner, then this side there was the table.
The table for my work. And then I had a small couch. And
Yes.
then I had
The gas.
the gas. So if you come to my place, you could eat, sleep, and
shower.
work. That's it. What else do you want?
And that's all I used to do when I used to go to Ken's house. That house actually, many people, no one knew about it.
Yeah. It was
Ken
a very...
did share. That time he went under and said, this office, Caleb, wewe pekee ndo tunajua hii nyumba. Everything, we cut other people off. So I used to go there, I remember I used to go from like Wednesday or Thursday, Nakadi, Saturday.
Yeah.
Then I go back to my folks' place. I hadn't moved out back then. Then I come next week, I visit Ken. So we did this for a while. We did it for a while until we got to a point where we decided, you know what, let's move in together. There's no point of in, out. This rent that you're paying here, we look for a house that has 2 bedrooms. We share the rent, we start life, and we continue focusing. And that's how we went to Zimmerman. If you don't know Zimmerman, you go chini, you go Roysambu. Roysambu, you pass... when you pass... Mirema. You pass Mirema, then you get to...
In Kenya kuna mtu ajua about Risambo. Si imeimbiwa sana kwa mango.
Roysambu na inajulikana, Zimmerman inajulikana. Ndio maana napatiana hiyo njia. Hapo TRM uende kuna hiyo njia. The first time I saw Zimmerman, we were going to open a house for my auntie. Yeye alikuwa amejenga hizo and my dad was officiating. I hadn't seen Zimmerman. I never even knew Zimmerman existed. Ilikuwa nimelelewa hizi sides za West, hizo sides kwa nimeona. But I didn't have a problem starting life anywhere. Actually, I wanted to move far from my parents. I wanted to go Paliota, Tafta, and all that. So when we found the Zimmerman house and we were opening it, when I saw Zimmerman, he was like, "Hey Ken, why don't we move into this house together? Tuishi hapa pamoja." And that's how we got to Zimmerman. I remember tulikuwa tunaishi hapo base, okay? Hapo Power Star, kuna base hapo. Because the days we moved, if you know Zimmerman, it was never tarmacked.
Initially it wasn't.
It wasn't. Palimekwa kabro. Ilikuwa unaingia na matope.
It wasn't tarmac.
It wasn't tarmacked for a long time. I think it was tarmacked towards the end.
Long time ago.
It was a long time ago. Yeah, so it wasn't tarmacked. Tunaingia, so it was matope. So when you go, you have to walk on those matope before you get to the house. But anyway, we lived there for about actually lived for 5 years.
4 years, 5 years, yeah.
Started in 2018
to 2023
to 2023. That's why we lived for a very long time. We had other priorities when our priorities. If you came to our house, let me share, because most of you didn't come to our house. We didn't have a TV. We didn't have anything. We didn't have a good couch. For a long time, we didn't have a couch. There's a friend of ours. She was moving out of what?
Yeah.
She was moving out from the Zimmerman building.
Who sold us a couch?
Same thing. We didn't have a fridge for a long time.
Yeah. We had a fridge, but a small one. We had the small fridge.
The white one.
Those two small ones.
Yenye inafika hapa.
Ile kadudu hiyo. Hiyo ya watoto.
Hata ilikuwa na compartment ya freezer.
Alikuwa na hayo.
It was like a small one.
Hujaanza. It was like a small freezer. Just a small one.
Bro, you know, since kuna fridge.
But yeah, compared to what you have now.
We never used to put much. Apart
there
from
wasn't
ice.
Much you could put.
Chakula yako inatoshea hapo kwa freezer. Anyway, so life ilianza huko. We learned a lot about life. It was good because we used to close ourselves in the house for a very long time. Tukakaa huko. The good thing we did there, we remained focused, we remained disciplined, and we really built the knowledge that we have now. Your foundation, okay? Those days we used to dream. Now we are shooting this video in Lavington, and I'm bringing that story. We never knew in the next 3-4 years after Zimmerman, tutakuwa in such a place. So we dreamt and really worked on the foundation of trading. And then we came and opened our first office in town. I think the office even looked better than our house.
For a long time, yes.
For a long time. And we used to spend most of our time in the office.
Yeah.
We used to come to the office, we used to live. Because in Zimmerman, Thika Road, most of you know, and you can relate. Ukitoka past 6.
There's a lot of traffic.
There's a lot of traffic. So we used to, na pia mamat, huko unapata mamat. For a long time, ukitoka 6:37, just know you're going to stay in jam for a very long time. Utafika kwa ofisi by 9. So we used to leave before 6, so we're in the office by latest 7. Usiku tunangoja pia jam ishe, tunatoka ofisi around 8-9. So the office, the house was just a place ya kudoze. Evil. Yeah. Okay? But we really worked on it. We built the office. We started with a 3-man office. It was like, ilikuwa inatoshana aje from somewhere there to there. It was like a thin rectangle. Okay? And that's how we started life. Then we were able to move to a 7-man office. Stayed there for some time. Then God blessed us. Tukakuja Lavington. And here's where we are. Right? Huku ndo tunasemanga magari zingine hatujaona.
Let me tell you something.
Let Ken tell you.
Wow.
Yenda alinipatianga this realization.
Wow. Moving to Lavington. That's the best thing that I think happened to me. So, for a very long time, I was brought up in Thika Road. So I was born and raised in Kenyatta University. I was born and raised there. And I've lived in Thika Road for a very long time, yeah. So, I used to, yes, obviously come these sides. And I would come, let's say, like I remember, there's a lot of, there was a lot of partying that would take place around these sides, especially when we joined campus. But you know, when you're partying, you come here at night, and by morning, you go back home. So then we officially now started visiting this place too, when we started building the office. So when we started building the office, I'm very observant of patterns which
are anomalies, like patterns which they're not normal. This is a pattern, but it's not something normal. It's not something that people are used to seeing, something like that. So I really pick such patterns easily. So I remember just starting to observe, wow, this place I can see many defenders that I don't see in Thika Road. Sijaona hii defender any other place. I've never seen it on Mombasa Road. I've never seen it on Thika Road. I've never seen it on Waiyaki Way. How comes I'm only seeing these defenders in Lavington? Then
And
I
not
start,
one?
and not one, a couple. Like, if you see a defender 2022, 2023 in Thika Road, it will be one. Like, you'll just see it and it will disappear. You won't see it again for a long time. Maybe in a week you can see 1 or 2 defenders that are like that. Now in Lavington, in a day you can see 10. 10 defenders that you have never seen. Bentleys, Porsche, G-Wagons.
kwanza huko ni mingi.
Wow.
GLEs,
S-classes, my friend. Maybachs. You come to Lavington,
Raptors.
the little car that you have, you just start thinking, wow, I shouldn't be around this place. Because that's one thing that I've seen in Lavington. And after some time, that's when I was able to actually, like I was actually telling you that story. I was talking to an agent who sells houses around. And she was telling me, most of the people who live around this place are expatriates. So majority of them are paid in dollars, so they're not paid in cash. And that's why you can find, they buy those expensive cars. Because actually I told Caleb, let's go out there. I take him for lunch and we observe how many out of 5 cars, how many cars will be below 4 million. Trust me, out of every 5 cars that pass Lavington, 3 are above 4 million. You can do that investigation. And if it's not, those small ones are Ubers. Could drop na kupick watu around. But if you just observe, you'll see a V8. From a V8, you'll see a Mercedes. From a Mercedes, you'll see a Prado.
Beamers.
From a Prado, you'll see a Beamer. Then you'll see one Defender 2022 worth a couple of million. Then
range 2024.
Lavington just has its own things. I don't know where these guys are getting the chums. And then you confirmed that thing by showing me that page on Instagram.
Or the guy who posts.
The guy who posts cars in Kileleshwa and Lavington.
He's called one Josh
something, right? Anakuanga pale.
Anakuanga tu hapa Lavington.
Hapo nyuma, si ndio?
Behind Lavington Kile. That's why he sports these cars. So
all those cars he sports are always coming here.
Yes, they're normally passing.
They're normally passing straight. Zinakuja huku. Because those cars don't go to Kile. Most people in Kile, you can't tell me you're driving a Range Rover 2024, you live in an apartment. So most of those guys are coming to work here or going towards Westlands through James.
In town, it was rare to see such cars. When working in town, Thika Road,
it was hard.
And
And that's when I even realized, long time ago, I used to hear people saying, I don't come to town. Rich people don't come to town.
What's your dream car?
Well, me, I'm
Last
interested
time we
in
said
cars.
collections, but achana na collection.
I was only on one car.
Yes.
I'd own a Porsche.
Porsche.
Yeah, I'd own a Porsche. That would be simple.
SUVs.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. That would be simple. I'd own a Porsche. Maybe a Cayenne or something.
Porsche.
That's it. Yeah. I wouldn't want any other cars.
Yeah, the reputation of Porsche in Mesquite is very good.
That would be. I'm done. I'm not buying anymore.
Okay.
But if I'm given a chance to buy more, obviously I don't own a couple of other cars. But anyway, so that was one thing that we picked. How did we get here? I'm going to Lavington and all that.
Yeah, so I was talking about how we moved from
Yeah. So we now came to Lavington, and then in Lavington
but
now
it's a
you'll
good
see.
thing. We're very happy of where we are because we get to know, okay, if we were here,
The exposure.
the exposure is good, so we know these cars exist. And now it's just a matter of time too. We're already in the same location where those people are driving the cars to go to.
Exactly.
Sisi tuko hapa, it's just a matter of time. It's good, it's better. And this is an advice I can give to most young people. Don't stay in the house for so long.
Get out.
Get out. If you didn't make the decision to move out of the house into an office. I remember when we moved into an office, it was a high-end office in Rigas. Rigas is a shared office space, which is an international brand, and they charge you in dollars. So it's really good. I remember when we were choosing offices, you went and looked at 2 offices. I wasn't around, I was in the UK.
Yeah.
So you looked at an office which, it's cheap, but it may beat. then you saw expensive.
But it looks nice.
Yes. So
And
this,
you know, that's one thing that we both share. We love good things. You know, we've never disagreed with Caleb on spending money on good things. You know, often when people are working together, you'll hear one saying, no, we can get a cheaper seat, or we can get a cheaper location, or we can get a cheaper door. But I think we've never had that struggle because both of us, kama kitu ni mzuri, it's good.
we go for it.
We go for it. But kama si mzuri, then, because also for me, I wouldn't have moved to some of those offices. You know, some of those offices they were just an office, and you know, you just don't want to do your things like that. There's some level of aesthetics, taste, I think that you want to remove from all the work that you do. So I believe it's important to take that time, but it's not something that is in everyone, because I've had disagreements with people based on that. Sometimes when people tell me you love expensive things, I'm like, I don't love expensive things. I love good things. Only that good things most times are expensive. You see, so that's the problem now with, I think, other people or something of the sort.
Yeah, but get yourself out of the house. Hakuna pesa itakutafuta kwa nyumba. Hakuna opportunity itakutafuta kwa nyumba. Hakuna mtu atakujua kwa nyumba unless you're doing TikToks. But if you're doing professional stuff, you need to create trust and you need to meet people. I remember when I was that time in the UK, we were just kickstarting Financial Hub. Ken used to meet clients in the restaurant.
Yeah.
So it was what he was telling me, history of briefcase. You meet someone today, tomorrow, and this industry already, you know, Forex. We're not trying to scam people, we're just trying to teach you. But since you're meeting them, now is rudi hapo same place wakupate, it's more of scamish. Yeah. So we decided, you know what? Let's go for expensive, let's settle on that, and let's start biashara. As you step out, just know also, failure is not a bad thing. It always depends on how you look at it. I'll tell you a story. When we started, before we got to our first office, you remember it was a very funny story. I think we've talked about it before. I don't know if we've talked about it, but we mentioned it before, of how we did our first forum. The forum that we were charging 15,000.
And you lost. Lost money, and you didn't have the money to lose.
We were young. I think we were 20 or 21, thereabout. So we decided to throw a forum, inviting 10 people to pay 15,000 for 3 days event.
Yeah.
A very nice very nice hotel, Pride Inn in Westlands. There's one of our videos. If you scroll down our YouTube page, you'll find that video. You'll find there's 3 videos we did of Pride Inn and how we hosted people. Now, we thought people will pay and people will come. Now, I remember in Pride Inn we were being told you need to pay before the people come. So you need to make some deposit. I remember it was going to cost us for food, utilities, and those 3 days it was going to cost us about, 100-something thousand?
I think about one something, because I remember we paid about 90 upfront and had some change.
Yeah. So we knew we'd make this money back. We didn't have that money. I don't even remember where we got that money. We didn't have it. We knew people will pay. So we decided, you know what, let's put our money as the booking fee. Now the booking fee says you need to pay half 14 days prior and you pay full 7 days prior to the event. Sisi tumeka posters, we think people are going to pay. Kenyans, we think are last minute people. Trust you me, not even one person paid for that event. Kenya hiyo pesa tulitoa tu roho safi, tukakula loss.
Disappeared.
The people who are really interested but weren't paying, we called them one by one and told them, you know what, you've been carefully selected to you're part of the one person who's been invited to this event for free. Since you showed interest, we want to invite you exclusively. And we did this for all the 10 people we invited. Like I said before, no one was sitting there knowing the other person was free. All of them knew, sisi wote tume individually, everyone knew I'm invite you for free, but they thought the next person next to them. I don't think anyone asked, will invite you?
No, people don't ask.
People don't ask. Wanataka pia ego, mimi nilipa hii do nilikama huko. But anyway, that's what happened. So tulikula we didn't give up in trading. I'm sure that time your pesa tungetumia much more in trading than in doing that event. And honestly speaking, for the last 5 years that we've taught people, and now we want to take things up a notch, we realized that everything we've done was for the betterment of the industry to grow. Part of what has taken us a lot of time is because we've reinvested most of the money we have or make into the business.
Yeah.
It's never been personal gain. If Ken was to keep the money to himself, maybe I keep my money to myself, tungekuwa mbali sana. But it's that long-term goal or vision that we have that it's what delayed gratification.
Yeah.
If person zapata says we spend issue jibambe, but it's over. Right now, if you come to a Lavington office, we have assets. So yes, it's the money. It's not tangible as money, but we've transferred it into an asset. Okay. So those are part of the things I tell you. Get out of the house, learn a few things, build. You never know where you'll get to. If you told me when we started our office in town 4 years ago in the 3-man office that will be in Lavington, you're joking, my friend.
In fact, to add on to that, I think one thing that I'll tell people, especially people who are, that's actually something very important. For people who are young, I'm also young, but I feel like there are people who are younger than me. Be naive. Like, when you're young, when you're 20, 21, somehow you're naive. I don't know if you're naive. Okay, you'll think about it, but let me just lay out my point. Sometimes I lay out this point and people say, that's not naivety, that's courage. Sometimes I lay it out to people. People say that's not courage, that's naivety. For me, I'll tell you it was naivety. Okay, it was not courage. It was naivety. Why did I think about it being naive? When you're 18 years old or 19 years old, like I was, and you're dropping out of school, you're telling your parents, I won't do engineering. I'm quitting this engineering thing. I won't do it. And I'm going to spend my time working on trading. Then there's the question that you have to ask yourself. Do you even know what trading is all about? And are you aware of how hard it is to succeed in such an environment? Probably you're not. And that's where I was. I was not aware of what trading is all about and how hard it is to succeed and how hard it is to form an edge and whether I'd like it. But I was naive enough to believe that, my idea was whatever I put my head into eventually works. Like, yes, I'm naive, but I know one simple fact, whatever I put my head into works. That's how I've been able to move from a bedsitter to an office in Lavington. It's not out of geniusness or, many people, when you meet someone in hindsight, they're like, you are smart, you are wise, you made the right choices. No, guys. It's not any of that. It's not any of that. It's pure naivety. You're like, I want to be rich and I'll be rich through this thing. So let me just go out and do it. And you go out to do it, you strive to do your best building it up, and you move step by step, and before you know it, you're somewhere where you never thought you could get, or you thought it was very far for you to get, but you somehow got there. I don't know, you can spend your time thinking more about it, but even right now, I've realized as we get older, and as reality is becoming harsher, I'm realizing more people are giving up on the naive dreams that they had and settling on lesser comfortable things. Like, for example, you might find a friend that I had 3 years ago, 4 years ago, who would tell me that, me, I don't want to be given a job. Me, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to work for myself. Perfect sample is like our videographer. Our videographer says, hapendi kufanyia mtu kazi, he'll freelance, do his own gigs. Then 3 years down the line, I meet him and he tells me, nowadays I work for KTN. So at first I'll be like, okay, was that a change of mind? Was it a giving up on your dreams? Or was it reality was too harsh? You had to, okay, there are many things that will make you bend and go back to doing something. I'm not saying you can't change your mind, but ensure it's not giving up or not being audacious enough to pursue your goals that is making you, deviate from them. Like for me, I always tell people, I still want to be a billionaire, regardless of how hard it is. I tend to believe that is my goal. And I tend to believe from the experience that I've gathered, these past 8-9 years that we've been trading, maybe it will take longer than you think. Maybe the route won't be as smooth as you thought, and maybe the route you'll use is not the one that you had planned to use. But the constant of attaining your goal, as long as you're moving, you will get there. So be audacious in setting your goals. Usiweke kadogo ati I just want to. Ukiweka hivyo utaanguka hapo. And you won't be as excited. Be naive. Have those goals which if you tell someone, jamaa ni fala sana. He doesn't understand reality. Those are the dreams you want. I like going to places, and when I speak, people look at me like, we have someone here who's delusional or illusional. Those are the things I like. Because I can tell now, if these guys think I'm delusional, I'm not thinking like them. Because you're delusional to people when you're not thinking like them. It's that simple. You're unreasonable. That's the word. This guy is not reasonable. You don't also become a billionaire being reasonable. You don't become...
Many people who are going to Mars.
You don't do some things being reasonable. You get? For you to also attain some goals, you have to be unreasonable. So, I think there's a lot that can come out of that. Just be naive in pursuing your goals. Don't be too ambitious. No, don't be too fearful. Instead, be too ambitious, because as much as you're being ambitious, you might miss getting to your goal, but wherever you fall, you might find that you really enjoy where you fell.
And as you become audacious, we've been saying with Ken over here, and Ken is one who says it, you plan, God laughs. Just because God laughs doesn't mean do not be audacious.
Exactly.
Continue being audacious. It's just that life happens.
Exactly.
Along the way. In 1 year, I have done a traditional wedding. I have done introductions. I've basically gotten married. In the same year, I'm now expecting a child. Same year. Due late November or early December. So I'm sure, last year, January, next year, my friend, you're getting married. And I'm sure I have other plans. Me yangu ni 5 years.
So 35 bana.
Marriage, forget about it. But life happens, and it's important for you to take a step back and accept it as it is. Yes, it's good to stick to your plan and what you had in mind, but life happens. It's like you're just, for example, no, I don't use that example. My point is, use me as an example. I had other plans, but this is what has happened at the end of the year. And you accept it. I didn't say no, and no, I'm not going to do this. You man up, take up responsibility, and do your thing. When we were staying with Ken in Zimmerman, we used to stay in a 2-bedroom house. We used to share rent. A few years later, Ken moved his own way. I went my own way, living in better houses. Unajisort. So you go taking on responsibilities. You never stay stagnant. Anytime you stay stagnant and you find yourself comfortable, you're doing something wrong. Growing. And that doesn't mean now go start buying expensive houses. No. You can be staying at a cheap place, but you're investing your money.
Exactly. That's the point.
Your means.
Yeah. Like, what are you doing with your money?
Yeah, what are you doing with the money? It's very important for you to ask yourself that. We see people get money and all of a sudden, crazy life. Enjoying yourself, moving to a better house, buying stuff that are very unnecessary. But at the end of the day, it all depends on how are you bettering yourself. Live below your means. In your 20s, easy time, and in the time ngumu. This is the hardest time. Everyone wants to show off. Everyone wants to look rich.
It is the hardest period, by the way, for people's life.
It's very hard. Because hapo ndo watu wengine wamemaza tu chuo, wengine wamepata very good jobs. Others are still seeking, wanajificha, wataki pia kuongelea their struggles.
I feel like in your 20s you shouldn't even succeed. It's a curse for you to succeed in your
character
20s.
Development.
Yeah, in your 20s you should learn. It's all about learning. Whatever you do, learn from it. Whatever you do.
Learn. So as much as you plan and you have audacious goals, life happens. Take it as it is. Accept it and move along with it. So in 1 year, I became a husband. In the 1 year, I'm becoming a father. Alongside entrepreneurship and business, alongside trading, alongside many other things, okay? You take it as it is. Hivyo ndo life ukua. No one knew mwaka ikianza Gachagua wataanza kumimpeach. Life happened.
Hata Gachagua mwenyewe hakujua atakuwa hapo mahali yako.
No one knew. Maybe the people who planned this against him walijua kitambo, but many people didn't see
Even
this
them,
coming.
they didn't know. Because even if you planned it, you didn't know end to end how it will play
How
out.
it will play out.
Yeah.
Here we are. Today is October 23rd, 2024. Court hearings. Karibu kila siku. Gachagua kuhosi. Who knew Kindiki atakuja kukua?
Who knew?
Who knew? That's what I mean. Like, life happens. At the end of the day, as much as you have your plans and all that, life happens. Take it a day at a time. So, and as we finish off, something else that really helped us during this period in the last 8 years, and if it were not for this, many people would be struggling. Prop firms.
Yeah. So prop firms have also been quite helpful.
Prop firms have saved a lot of people. Prop firms have given us access to capital we never thought possible by this time. We knew it possible in a while, but not by this time. When you're funded, if you watched our previous podcast, we talked about Ken and I having almost a combined $2 million prop firm accounts. That was unheard of. If you told us a few years ago, we just knew to pole gradual, because before prop firms and because I started trading in 2016, prop firms became a big thing in COVID.
2020 there.
2020, 2021. Before that, unatafuta $100 yako, trade it. Ukipata some $500, I remember me and Ken used to go looking for money. Nauliza an auntie here, please just invest in me. Hey, those were tough days. 30K itakupeleka mahali. Yo, use it to buy prop firms. These days, if you have 30,000, you get a prop firm worth how much? $50,000?
If you have 30,000. Yeah.
Usizoe kubuy accounts kubwa sana.
Yeah, you can get 50K. It's about $50 that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can get
about
$50K. $50,000 account prop.
Yeah.
Depending on the prop firm you go for.
In simple terms, using less than a percentage of the account that you're buying, you can get access to that capital.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because right now, Kenya shilling, if you have about 80,000, you can get an account, $100,000.
Yep.
Which is about 13 million Kenya shillings,
Mm-hmm.
give or take. So prop firms really saved us along the way. If it were just for normal live trading accounts, I think the journey will have been much
Harder.
and longer. Okay, so take advantage of this, and we have short something coming very soon on prop firms. It will be fully online. We'll teach you our strategies and all that. That is going to be fully online. So we have below on the description, gonna form. If you feel interested in trading prop firms and learning how to get funded over $100,000 like we are, the link is below. We have a short mentorship course coming that is going to focus on prop firms very, very soon. It will be fully online. We're going to teach you from start to end how to choose prop firms. It's quite in-depth, and it will be a first in Kenya. Yeah, so we like frontiering things, and we have a lot coming, especially for 2024. As 2024 comes to an end, we have a lot planned for 2025. We want to take things up a notch, and we are going to announce this and talk about it very soon. But trust me, it's exciting stuff. We want to take things whole different. We want to take this industry by storm and do things a bit differently. We've seen a lot of people copying what we do. It's become the norm. Okay, and now we want to take things to the next level. So I think that's basically it from me. We still have a lot to learn. These are not the only things we've learned in life for the past 8 years in our trading.
Yeah.
There's much more. I'm sure one day if we can get a few of our friends that we grew up with and they saw us growing, then the people who can really remind us of those days that, hey, you remember that day this happened, you guys mulikuwa down, this day you guys had made progress. We've had a lot of ups and downs. This industry is not good, but what we've done consistently, which you can also applaud ourselves, we've always, like Ken said, we are more or less the same, and we've stuck together. Business and partnerships is also more of like marriage. It's two people coming together to build something that is more than them. And that's what we're doing here at Financial Hub. And we've been able to go through since I knew Ken in 2015.
Yeah.
Tukiwa Tuk. We became friends in Tuk. And 2015, it's almost 10 years.
Next year.
Next year will be 10 years since we knew one another. That is much longer than the lady you've just married. Honestly, it's way more. But anyway, on a light note, good things take time.
Yeah.
So give it time. But anyway, if you've been seeing our triggers, it's basically to jog our minds, see how me and Ken are. It's all about challenging each other and challenging itself. Competitiveness is good. So enjoy. Hope you've enjoyed, learned a thing or two from this our experience, and we'll come back with more. Yep. So that's it. Like I always say, stay woke,
Stay financially literate and work towards being financially free.
Peace.
In which year did World War II end?
1945.
What's the square root of 144?
12.
Yes.
Okay.
Which famous scientist developed the theory of relativity?
Einstein.
What is the main ingredient in guacamole?
Avocado.
Tie, what's a tie? Rock, paper, scissors. Inua hiyo mkono. Who wrote the play Romeo and Juliet?
Shakespeare.
What is the hardest natural substance?
Diamond.
Who was the first president of the United States?
Benjamin Franklin.
Wrong.
Lincoln.
No. George Washington.
Oh yes. Inua mkono.
Inua hiyo mkono. Who is the longest serving British monarch in history?
Elizabeth.
Yes. Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth.
Of course, Queen Elizabeth.
Okay. Who was the first woman to serve as Chancellor of Germany?
Merkel.
Jinx. Rock, paper, scissors. How do you guys know that? What is the name of the European Union's parliament?
ECB.
It's called
The European Parliament. Who was the first female Prime Minister of the United Kingdom?
Theresa May.
No. Hey.
I know. I know this name. Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah.
Margaret Thatcher.
What is the chemical symbol for gold?
XAU. No. XAU.
Chemical symbol.
It's
I
XAU.
didn't ask you for the financial. This is the last question.
Okay.
Mko? You're this side. Which country? Which country is home to the Great Pyramid?
Egypt.
Jinx. Rock, paper.
I win. More questions?
Sini.
Hey, Satsai.
This is